Thank you. Good. So we're back in our open EAD meeting at item 8.1, which has been moved and seconded. And looking for further comments, questions.
My question was, has staff been directed not to fund local fire departments or volunteer organizations?
Through the chair, no, staff have not been directed to do that. This is just sharing some context.
Okay.
So staff would be available to help societies or brigades where they're at as we're moving along in parallel with the fire services review. Is that true?
Through the chair, the fire services review is focused on building the bylaws and governance frameworks, and there's a component of implementation of it. The scope is not all societies, as we're focused on those that are established through service establishments at this time. But this project is meant to support the SLRD in working with these societies and meeting the needs of the communities in terms of fire services.
Thank you. I have Director Mack and CAO Paul.
What's the time frame on completion of that study?
Through the chair, our contractor is starting to organize meetings in community to kick off that project in the community and get the feedback. We've left quite a broad kind of landing strip on this one, as it does involve various conversations with communities, and engagement is required. So we've it's about a year in terms of hopefully moving into that implementation stage, like actually moving the dial forward. So the policies are the first piece, and that's expected before spring.
I guess my concern is some of these things take so long to actually come to a conclusion and implement something. And in this day and age, we just don't have the luxury of an extended time period to get any of this stuff through. In my mind, we should be trying to get this stuff put in place as quickly as possible. And, you know, there's so many policies out there now. You can pick and choose the ones you like, use them, massage them, do whatever. But we don't have to reinvent the wheel, for sure.
CAO Paul?
Hi, thank you. For clarification, I do have some notes on this that I wanna share. Local governments have been advised that when considering funding requests for fire-related societies, a policy should be in place, which is aligned to be developed by spring 2026, which is what Director Phillips has said. This basically prevents foreseeable risk, as local governments have been advised, including physical harm or death due to insufficient training or unsuitable volunteer qualifications, property damage, or liability exposure stemming from inadequate equipment or coordination. Again, that's a wide breadth of local governments have been advised this. There is a recommendation that staff have made, which is to defer this until December 2025 to allow staff time to further research and assess the newly formed society, including its mandate and governance structure, which then ensures that liability is secured. Confirm whether the board wishes to consider to support funding for firefighting societies while this fire service resiliency project is being undertaken, and under what conditions. And I think the term that I heard a lot was, please don't let too many more horses out of the gate. And that's all we want to just bring to the awareness prior to this decision.
Thank you, and I know you'd like to say something, Director Demare, but I have
Yeah.
Director Ford also asked to be on the speaker's list. Okay.
I do believe the current policy is that that we've done for many of these now throughout the SLRD electoral areas, is that they have to sign an agreement where they won't use these funds
Right.
to fight a fire. And that's what I want to see with this one. That agreement is used, because it is our current protocol and policy. That came from the 2014 Fire Services Review and has been in place. There was a little lapse for a little bit, but it came back. after I talked about it at one of our meetings. So that's what I wanna see with this one. And let that fire resiliency plan move forward. And make sure that part of that includes these societies that are not a tax service. Thank you.
Yeah, it's tricky. We're trying to balance the liability concerns of the organization and the government with the actual reality on the ground, that we would like to be as prepared as possible for what we know will happen in our remote areas, quite a long way from services, right? Yeah.
Thank you. So I hear lots of things happening here. We don't want to slow down this group of keen volunteers who, whether we fund them or not, are likely still going to do this work because they're doing it because they truly want to and believe in it. And fires are all around us and imminent. And so we all feel that threat, and therefore we all feel the instinct to do what we can. And this is an opportunity for us to support a group that is going to do what they can, whether they have our funding or find it elsewhere. I would be interested to understand if this is an opportunity for us to use this as a pilot of our new process so that they can do what, had we not started the resiliency project and we were doing things the way we've done them, you would have given them the $10,000, they would have signed the agreement, they would have gone about their training, and staff would have gone along probably as they had done. Now that we have this project and trained, are we at a position where we could look at this as here's a new way of doing things. This is an organized group, and they're gonna follow the process that we're proposing through the project and hopefully end up at the same finish line with better process, better clarity, to not slow down giving them the money or doing the training, because right now is a great time to train for next summer's wildfire season. Not to slow anything down as you are asking, but also to allow the staff the insight into, maybe I'm missing some important piece to this. I see you shaking your head. What am I missing?
I do believe the fire resiliency project is based around tax services.
Okay,
This is
That's not
tax
what this
service,
is.
and
Okay.
Gold Bridge Fire is not a tax service.
right.
Am I
Okay,
correct
so-
on that?
Yeah, through the chair, we are looking at, we're in conversations with our contractor to expand the scope as, yeah. And so the contractor has stated that they are open to discussions with the folks like Italian or Gold Bridge and other areas to understand the needs and the challenges they're facing. So that is something that we can move forward with quite quickly in terms of understanding the needs and
And
challenges.
that's the reason why they require this funding, to get their insurance, get some governance training, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So my motion is still there.
Like, I think we can achieve
Yeah.
both, right? Not changing what they're asking. We're not telling them they now have to be a tax service because we're doing this project. But to say the project can be informed by what they're going through, and they can be supported by the funding. Is that fair?
They're gonna get the funding. Right?
Yeah.
And yes, when the fire says, if they're gonna be part of that resiliency plan, better yet. For sure, but they need that funding to move
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah. I do have a separate question if I may.
But they also currently, they're still gonna have to sign that agreement.
For sure. Yeah, I think that was my intention.
Yeah.
My other separate and distinct question is how many of the existing fire services, brigades, societies, and volunteer outfits that we have within our regional boundaries are wildfire specific versus structure fire specific? Is this the first one?
Through the chair, no. There are most of them are wildfire focused, and including some of the service established ones are focused on wildfire. And that's part of this this project, is to declare the level of service focus, etc.
Right, okay. The reason I asked that is, if we were departing from kind of what everyone else is doing, it may require a different, thought, but I'm satisfied by that. I always worry when I see, us up grabbing from provincial responsibility and saying we're gonna take on wildfire when wildfire is not the role of local government. And we're absolving the province of doing the work that they need to do to put the resources in place for wildfire services across this province in every area. And so I never like the idea of us taking on that responsibility. We are not doing that in this case. This independent society is taking on that training and responsibility. And I'm supportive of them doing it. But I don't want it to go unsaid that the province should be paying them, not us. But here we are.
Totally. And that's why the Community Cooperative Wildfire Response Program that we didn't sign up to this year is critical. And it's critical for UBCM to review it and move forward on it. I wasn't able to attend UBCM, so I don't know if anything happened with with that program, because there were other regional district that didn't sign up either.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thompson Nicollet Regional District, they did sign up.
I suspect we'll see
So it's
something in the
important
purpose.
with the resiliency plan that is part of that conversation. The whole concept of the cooperative community wildfire response from BC Wildfire.
Go ahead, Colin.
I'm just thinking from the Squamish Valley perspective of being a little bit rural outside of Squamish, Maine, and that we are completely reliant on our local fire department, which is volunteers. And they did an amazing job this summer by putting out a structure yurt fire. But in the past, there has been time where we couldn't get support from the Squamish district to come out for a fire, and then like provincial fire department wouldn't touch it until it was a forest fire, but they were standing by. So the practicality of those different layers of governance, of like what's actually happening on the ground when you need support. So I don't know what the answer is. I know that one of the meetings I was at a few years back, Wedgwood was able to pay into being supported by Whistler department, and I'm just curious if that is something that would make more sense being in Squamish Valley rather than trying to fund and train up volunteers. So I know there's lots more, like a lot more questions that come out of it, but at the end of the day, you're on the ground trying to get the support that you need, and you're relying on the community members.
I'm happy to chat with you about that outline
Yeah.
before our next meeting.
Sounds
Just
great.
to give you more background on that.
Okay, sounds great.
Thank you. Has everyone said their piece here? Did you want to add something?
I just have a question after this one.
After.
Yeah.
After this.
Motion, yeah.
Okay,
it's not about the motion.
it's been moved and seconded, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Can I add a question?
Yes.
Director Phillips, do you need a motion? I know there was some discussion that possibly changes the scope of the resiliency project. Do you need a motion to recommend to the board for that scope, or do you feel comfortable with that direction as it stands?
Through the chair, I feel comfortable.
Sure, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 8.2 is a request for funding from the Royal Canadian Legion Branch 66 in Lillooet for Remembrance Day 2025. And you see their request there, and usually I fund them above and beyond the $75 for the wreath. I'd like to make a motion to allocate $2,000 from Area B Select Funds for Branch 66 of the Legion in Lillooet to cover the cost of the wreath and all the other good activities that they are involved in. So
I'll second it.
seconded by Director Demare. Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Is that good, Ms. Welsham? Okay. 8.3 is from.
Chair?
Yes,
I have to declare conflict of interest for 8.3 and 8.4.
excellent.
As my daughter is an employee of the BRVCA and my wife is on the board of directors.
Thank you.
I will move 8.3.
And would you like to second that? All right, seconded by Director DeJong. So this is for funding of $810 from electoral area select funds to support the 2025 Remembrance Day ceremony. And how they're spending it is outlined there. Anyone opposed? No, motion carried. So now we're looking at 8.4.
I'll move that too.
8.4. The Community Association requests funding of $12,000 from the electoral area select funds for services of construction coordinator for the Braylord Pioneer Mines Office project. And that's also very well outlined in the application. Seconder, thank you. None opposed, motion carried. Or we can ask Mr. Demare back in. And we do have late business. And we do have more agenda items. So we'll go to 10.1 next.
No, there's no decision on my business.
We've got those items added to the agenda that's posted, so there's no decision on late business, right?
You can ask if they have any additional late.
Does anyone else have any additional? Okay. Then we'll look at the ones that were just circulated yesterday. 10.1, request from the Legion in Pemberton. Director Matt,
I'll move that.
okay. And let me get there.
I'll second it.
Seconded by Director Demare. So this is from Select Funds Area C in the amount of $120, okay, towards the wreath of the Legion at Pemberton. Moved and seconded, anyone opposed? Motion carried. And 10.2, the Britannia Beach. And we have a letter here from Britannia Beach Community Association. Requesting, formally requesting funding to complete a feasibility review of the community center lease agreement. Now, they also say they'd like to hold another vote with the board. I'm assuming that means their board. Okay. Requesting that the SLRD hold the lease for the community hall. So I'd like a little more information on this one from staff, please.
Hi. Thank you. This is simply an email because in respect for the president of the community association's time, they're a full-time firefighter and very busy. So they've sent this email. The request pulled out of this email for this committee is about considering funding for a feasibility and legal review of how the community center is managed over the next 4 to 99 years. I did reach out asking for a rough amount of money so we could do up to. We haven't heard back. So my recommendation for this iteration, and because there's 30 days and it can be altered, would be $2,500 to $5,000 up to. Select funds is available for that. And there are amenity funds available. The amenity funds are a recommendation to the board. Select funds are delegated to the EAD. When it comes to the other items in the email, we let them know the process of going through advocating with the board, etc.
Okay. So this is a tough one without Director Rainbow here. Director Mack?
Yeah, so with the amenity funds,
Yeah.
how much did you say you're thinking they might ask for? Like $5,000 up to, or?
Thank you. I did attend with, along with Director Rainbow, a Britannia Beach Community Association meeting about 2 weeks ago. And the legal review required for this is probably minor. Knowing it's legal, I would say up to $2,500 to $5,000, depending on how the board is comfortable with.
Because I noticed in Tony's select funds, he only has under $10,000. So if you take 5 out of that, there's only 4,000 and a little bit. We've still got, well, 2.5 months left yet. So maybe it would be wiser to use amenity funds.
Maybe by then
Specific.
you'll have
Yeah.
an estimate.
Yes, I'm not sure how time is of the essence. I believe time might be of the essence for this because the community center is set to open but can't be run.
Well, it's,
I will
So,
say,
yeah.
could I get if we go to the next one, I could get clarification that should amenity funds be preferred, we can just put it back into select. I could get that clarification for us. So we are protected.
yeah, that's fine. I mean, and Tony might be happy with just using select funds and not worrying about it, what he's got left, so whatever.
Yeah, I just find it tricky to make a decision not knowing what the amount is and then what else is left to be supported over the next few months.
And would not the question about the lease need to go to the board?
Yeah, so a clarification, we've let them know that the EAD is only considering the funding and we've let them know how to get the other stuff advocated to the board.
Okay, excellent. So we're just deciding on the one item, and Jen, did you have?
That's all I
something?
was gonna say was,
Okay.
let's approve, I mean, I'll suggest to you, I'm not making any approvals myself, but that the up to $5,000 is approved at a select unless amenity funds are required, and request that this letter be referred to staff to bring to the board in October for a discussion about the bigger pieces that are being requested here, so that we have a bit more information going forward. So that we can support this group.
And finance, does that work for you?
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
So may I ask a question for clarity? Can we decide in a month from now that we'd sooner fund it through amenity and then pay back select?
It would, I mean, we would just need approval from the board, and if they approved it, then we can move it.
That seems simple enough.
Okay, so what is the best wording for the motion then?
That up to $5,000 of Area D select funds be provided to the BBCA, Britannia Beach Community Association, to support a feasibility review of the community centers.
All right, we don't need to reference any consideration of amenity, or we could just change that if we feel we need to as a separate motion and a separate time at the board. Okay, all right then. Then I'll make that motion as just read, thank you.
I'll second.
Director Knapp. Everyone okay with that? Anyone opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Director's notice of motion. None. A motion to adjourn. Thank you very much, Director Demare, motion to adjourn. All in favor? Thank you.
Well,
Okay.
you're fast.